I will contest in 2027 election, says Peter Obi. Wike alleges land grabbing reduces UniAbuja land to 4,000 hectares. Over 25 million naturalized Americans may be affected as US begins the denaturalisation process. Infrastructure development, state receives 1.6 trillion naira from FG for projects. New e-visa system processed 14,000 applicants in 6 weeks, says Tunji-Ojo. PDP NEC affirms Samuel Anyanwu as National Secretary. US revokes visas of Glastonbury Band Bob Vylan over anti-Israel chant. Summary of the news. I will contest in 2027 election, says Peter Obi. Peter Obi, the Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate, has confirmed he will run again in 2027, committing to a single 4-year term if elected. He denied any alliance with Atiku Abubakar, stating that while he is open to coalition talks, they must focus on addressing Nigeria's key challenges like insecurity, economic decline, and poverty. Speaking during an X-Space chat, Obi criticized the current state of governance, especially President Tinubu's absence from most Nigerian states, contrasting it with a planned long stay in St. Lucia. He stressed the need for urgent action, promising to restore stability within 2 years and lead a non-violent campaign where votes will count. Obi pledged to prioritize security, education, and poverty reduction in his first 100 days, while cutting government waste and fighting corruption. He assured that his family would not interfere in governance and vowed to strengthen opposition politics and prevent elected officials from switching parties. Highlighting his hands-on leadership in Anambra, Obi called for serious, present, and committed leadership, saying no country is taken seriously without stable governance. Wike alleges land grabbing reduces UniAbuja land to 4,000 hectares. Federal Capital Territory FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has accused the University of Abuja of land grabbing, reducing its permanent site in Jeri district from 11,824 hectares to 4,000 hectares due to lack of proper documentation. He announced this during the commissioning of access roads to the EFCC Academy and other areas in Jeri, Abuja by House Speaker Tajuddin Abbas on behalf of President Bola Tinubu. Wike emphasized that the university had been fencing and claiming land without approval, and such acts will no longer be tolerated. The remaining land will be reallocated for infrastructure development, including other institutions like the EFCC Academy and the National Assembly Legislative Institute. Wike also highlighted that the newly constructed access roads will encourage development in the area and prevent unauthorized land use. Minister of State FCT Dr. Maria Mahmood praised the project as a testament to the renewed hope agenda of President Tinubu, while EFCC Chairman Olanipekun Olukoyede, represented by Secretary Mahmood Hamajoda, thanked Wike for facilitating access to the EFCC Academy site, enabling progress on the institution's development. Over 25 million naturalized Americans may be affected as US begins the naturalization process. The US Department of Justice DOJ has directed its civil division attorneys to prioritize the naturalization cases against individuals who obtained citizenship illegally or through misrepresentation. The naturalization, which strips citizenship from those naturalized rather than born in the US, will focus on people tied to national security threats, war crimes, gang activity, violent crimes, human trafficking, and financial fraud. The directive could affect over 25 million naturalized Americans, according to 2023 data. This move aligns with former President Donald Trump's broader immigration crackdown. It follows a Supreme Court ruling that federal judges exceeding their authority by blocking Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship. The court did not rule on the constitutionality of the policy, leaving the door open for its continuation. Infrastructure development, states received 1.6 trillion naira from FG for projects. Between March 2024 and May 2025, the federal government disbursed 1.6 trillion naira to the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory to support infrastructure development and security initiatives. The funds were drawn from 1.7 trillion naira in non-oil revenue savings under a special intervention program aimed at easing fiscal pressure on subnational governments. Payments were made monthly, typically 100 billion naira, with a peak of 222 billion naira in May 2024. The initiative followed the creation of the Infrastructure Support Fund approved by President Bola Tinubu in July 2023 to cushion the effects of petrol subsidy removal and promote investments in key sectors like transportation, health, education, and agriculture. Civil society leader Awal Rafsanjana condemned the disbursements, accusing government officials of mismanaging the money and prioritizing political ambitions ahead of the 2027 elections. He argued that the lack of visible improvements in infrastructure and security suggests the funds were not effectively utilized. New e-visa system processed 14,000 applications in 6 weeks, says Tunji-Ojo. The Nigerian government's new e-visa system, launched on May 1st, has processed over 14,000 applications in just 6 weeks. Interior Minister Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo described it as a major step toward improving migration processes and boosting economic growth. He acknowledged some initial glitches but said they are being resolved quickly. Two more digital platforms, eSerpac and eTWP, will launch soon to curb visa misuse and improve efficiency. The government has also saved about 1 billion naira by ending manual archiving in passport applications. Immigration Chief Kemi Nandab added that new technologies like e-gates and digital permits are enhancing security and streamlining travel. PDP NEC affirms Samuel Anyanwu as National Secretary. The PDP has reaffirmed Samuel Anyanwu as its National Secretary, ending a leadership crisis that began when he became the party's Imo governorship candidate in 2023. Though a court ruled he vacated the role, Anyanwu appealed and the party briefly appointed others to fill the position. Following consultations with INEC, which raised concerns over conflicting submissions, the PDP agreed to follow proper procedures. At its 100th NEC meeting, the party confirmed Anyanwu's role and pledged unity and compliance with NEC rules. A full INEC meeting is set for August 2023. US revokes visas of Glastonbury Band Bob Vylan over anti-Israel chant. The US has revoked the visas of British punk rap duo Bob Vylan after they led a controversial chant "Death to the IDF" during their performance at the Glastonbury Festival. US Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau cited the group's hateful tirade as the reason, stating that foreigners promoting violence are unwelcome in the US. The chant drew condemnation from UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who called it appalling hate speech. The BBC, which screamed the festival, apologized for not cutting the footage in time. This incident follows a similar controversy involving NEC, an Irish group critical of Israel, whose Glastonbury set was retained despite political pressure, although the BBC chose not to broadcast it. Both bands had upcoming US tours, which are now in jeopardy due to the visa cancellations. This move aligns with the Trump administration's broader crackdown on foreign nationals involved in anti-Israeli activism. Follow for more. July 1st, 2025.